This is Bhaskar Chakravorti, Dean of Global Business at the Fletcher School. And I'm here with Kateryna Ryzha of Softjourn. And we have been speaking with several of Kateryna's colleagues who are tech professionals in Ukraine, trying to get a sense of what their work and life has been over the course of these many very long, excruciatingly long weeks of the war. And I would like to ask Kateryna to share a little bit about herself, say a few words about yourself, and then Kateryna will just have a conversation with you about how your life and work has been affected by the invasion. Kateryna, over to you.
Yeah, so hello, Bhaskar. Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be a part of these conversations. Just a few words about myself. I'm working in the IT sphere for more than 10 years. All these 10 years I'm working at Softjourn, and I have been conducting different activities, starting from sales department, then to QA, and now I'm working as head of project management office. Yeah, I live in Western Ukraine, in Ivano-Frankivsk. We have our development office here, and currently, for now, I'm staying here in Ivano-Frankivsk for all this time, starting from February the 24th.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us, Kateryna, and for sharing a little bit about yourself and your background. Just to kind of kick this off, we are learning about the war, and the horrendous images of the war are coming to us on a second-by-second, minute-by-minute basis every day. How has your life and your work been affected by the invasion?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that we have been preparing for this. Sure, we didn't believe, because it was really hard to believe that this might happen. But anyway, when we knew there were troops, Russian troops at the border, so we were preparing by creating some contingency plans. We're thinking how we will act in case anything happens. So when all happened, we were prepared, and it was good, because the first days, all people were shocked, and we were shocked as well. And it was really good that we had some written plans. We had some actions that we were thinking about before, and we just started to work. And if to speak about our working life, the first 2 or 3 weeks, we had to work even more, because we had to provide stable environment for all the people. We had to organize help for some of our people who were in the east of Ukraine, in Kyiv and other regions. Here in the west of Ukraine, almost all this time, the situation was not really dangerous, I would say. Yes, we heard about bombing all over Ukraine, but if to compare to other regions, here in the West, it was quiet. So we provided a lot of help to move people out of dangerous areas here, to help their family and relatives. Some of them were moving abroad, so we were organizing buses. We helped them to find apartments to live. And meanwhile, doing all of this, we had to provide stable development process for all the company. And we did a lot of planning and replanning. We communicated with our clients. We informed that there might be some performance drops. But in fact, how we see it now, performance didn't decrease, because many people, when they were allocated to a safe place, they started to work, and sometimes they even wanted to work more. First of all, they wanted to distract from the situation, and it helped in some way. And secondly, they understood that their contribution to Ukrainian economics is very valuable. And if they are not on the like if they are not fighting in the first row, they are fighting here for our economy.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing that, Kateryna. You mentioned that you, even before the war started, you were preparing for contingencies and the risks. And you're a project manager, so you are responsible for, making a project happen and doing the final delivery to your clients. What were some of the biggest risks that you prepared for, and did any of those risks actually play out?
There were several risks that we were working on. First of all, we had to make sure we have stable internet connection and all our people have a possibility to work. So we bought several things in our office. We had a backup network station. We bought a generator to generate electricity just in case. And also the biggest risk that we saw and see it now is our people. This is the most important. So we had to make sure we can quickly relocate them and we can provide any help they needed. So in advance, we found a few apartments here in Ivano-Frankivsk for those who would like to relocate here. Also, we have found some apartments in Poland because we have office in Poland in Wrocław. So our HRs who work in Poland, they help to organize apartment and some houses for people.
And these are people who are on the western side of the country, who are being relocated?
Different people all over Ukraine. We didn't
From the
divide
western,
them.
I meant the eastern side. That's what I meant.
Yes, some people from the east and central Ukraine, they wanted to relocate either here to western Ukraine or abroad. And some people in western Ukraine, they also wanted to relocate abroad. So we just tried to have those lists of people. We tried to keep in touch with everyone. Even before this escalation, we contacted people asking for their plans, like, what if? Would you like to stay, to relocate to the Western Ukraine, in Poland, and so on? But when you ask people and nothing happens, they have their plans, and usually they don't want to relocate. And when all this happened, many of them changed their minds. So we had to contact them on daily basis, making sure we know their plans and we can help. So many of them were relocated abroad, and many of them were relocated here to the west of Ukraine. And some people, they decided to stay, and they stayed in Kiev. So we contacted with them every day to make sure they're fine, and hopefully, thanks God, they're fine and everyone is fine right now.
Well, that is good to hear, and hopefully they continue to remain safe. And I'm wondering how much more difficult it was to manage a project with teams who were being dislocated. And did you see a lot of work interruptions?
I can say we didn't have many work interruptions. Sometimes we had some overlaps, but we really worked a lot to have substitutions. For example, when project managers also needed to relocate, for example, with their families, and then other project managers, they substituted for them. And for the teams, the project manager was monitoring the situation, and in case they needed to reorganize the work due to the relocations, they did this. We are very flexible, and actually we have been working flexible all this time, and we have some good process set inside the company. So it was difficult, and it required some effort and time, but it was quite manageable, which is good. So the first 2 or 3 weeks probably they were the most difficult because the biggest part of relocation happened then. And also we all were in shock and we had to get used to the situation. After the first 3 weeks, it was easier to work. Yeah, so.
Now, you said that you were prepared for the power to go out or the internet connection to be interrupted. Did that happen? Did the power go out?
No, it never happened.
Yeah.
Actually, we didn't think that it would happen. It was not really likely, but we wanted to make sure that we are prepared even for such cases.
Yeah.
So even maybe it could be some local electricity problem, anything could happen. So we just decided that we would feel ourselves more confident if we have those backups. But this never happened. All the connection was stable. Mobile networks are really stable in Ukraine right now, so everything was fine, especially here in the west of Ukraine. Maybe in some critical areas they could have problems, but here everything is fine.
Yeah. And how is your family doing? Are they safe? Are they in the country, or have they left the country?
My mother is here and with me in Ivano-Frankivsk, and my husband, he is a military man, so right now he is there fighting for us. And actually, I did a lot of volunteering to organize supplies to their military unit. And I'm really thankful for all the people who helped me. So we have organized several deliveries, and among this we have bought 2 cars for them. One was bought in Poland and one was bought here, and we delivered. And the cars are really used and very helpful. And besides the cars, we have delivered many other important stuff. So I'm really glad that people helped me to organize all this. Yeah, so all my closest relatives and my family are here. No one moved, so that's why I'm here as well.
Okay. Well, our thoughts are with you and your family and friends and everyone close to you, and we hope that the situation gets better. Speaking of the situation, it seems to have changed quite significantly since the last week or 10 days, as the focus has gone away from Kyiv and the Russian military seems to have refocused on the eastern part of Ukraine. How has that changed your own thinking about the war, and is that making you feel better, worse, more confident about the future?
Yeah, that's a good question, and probably it's not really easy to answer. I can't say that I feel better because we still have a lot of people suffering, and I guess Ukrainians won't feel better till this ends. Yeah, so but I'm happy for the people in the areas that are free from the invaders right now. And I just think that it's good that some of our territory is back and under Ukrainian control, but we still have places and this focus on the east, and I can't feel good until this conflict is resolved and until we win this war against this Russian fascism. Yeah. So for the situation here in the west of Ukraine, actually it was quiet and it is still quiet. So we all are good. All our business is back in the city, which is good. People start to work. They start to open all their local business points. but still we understand that we need to unite our effort, and we all are looking for the ways to help those people who are in the east and our militaries. So everyone tries to find a way to help.
Sure. So now, speaking of help, you mentioned that you were involved in deliveries and several other logistical forms of support, but you're also a tech professional and you have IT skills. How are you using those skills in the war?
Actually, I'm more a project manager for the last 5 years, and I really used my management skills a lot when organizing all these supplies, because it's not that you just gather some money, go to the store and buy. Many things that we had to find, they were almost, it was impossible to buy because everyone needed them. So I used a lot of my management skills to communicate with people, to organize things, to organize logistics, to make sure we have transport and we have time, and we have some people who can provide us with the supplies. For the IT skills, I can speak of myself because I'm on the management role right now, but we are helping some of our government institutes to organize the work and to move their services flow from the local service into the cloud. So we just try to be helpful here as well.
Okay. Final question. Do you see any change in terms of projects coming to you? Do you see business getting better, remaining the same, getting worse in the last week or so?
Fortunately, I can say that I don't see any significant change. We still keep all our projects. We have some new projects coming. I'm not sure how it's going to be in the future, but we will try to do our best to keep the progress. And also, when I speak to people from other IT companies, I see that most of the projects they continue to work on, and this is good. Also, I've heard some stories. This is not connected with our company, but I've heard that some of the projects were closed. But most companies, they continue working, which is good, and I really hope that we will continue working, because now when we have experience working even in some critical conditions, I think we become stronger as development teams, because we keep working no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. You have built a lot of resilience and the ability to continue doing business even through some of the most difficult circumstances. I think one question that a lot of people outside Ukraine would have if they're thinking about giving work to the IT and the tech community in Ukraine is there's such a big risk. And what would you say to them and of course, somebody who's responsible for project management and delivery? What would you say to them in terms of how you will make them feel assured that if they give you work, they are going to get it?
Yeah, I understand this.
The outcomes that they're looking for. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that they are worried and they see a lot of risk. But one more time, I can say that we had a very tough time the last 2 months and a half, and we haven't stopped our projects. We even didn't have a drop in the performance of the teams. We keep working. We keep providing stable process, and right now we are resilient, we are more flexible, and we are prepared. So right now we know the reality of war, and we know how to survive and have to work. And we just hope that the world will believe in us, because we are very united, and we will make sure to do our best and to keep working.
Well, thank you for sharing your experiences and your resilience and your confidence and optimism for the future, Kateryna. I really appreciate you speaking to me.
Thank you. It was really a pleasure to have a conversation with you.
Absolutely. Be safe, and we'll talk to you again soon. This is Bhaskar Chakravorti, Dean of Global Business at the Fletcher School at Tufts University.